Okay, so I am going to use my Homo erectus essay to help you understand why you got a certain score. Okay, now the score that you are aiming for is a 6. Now you're probably wondering why only a 6 when you could technically go up to an 8. Well, there's several reasons, but the main reason is you are new to sixth grade, or at least you were. I would say after the trimester one, you're not new to sixth grade anymore, but you were. And we, as teachers at Cooley, have never seen you write an essay before. So this is your first time. This grade, whether you got an 8 or a 1, is not what we're going to be looking at or is not going to really count at the end of the year. What we're looking at is to see if you did really, really well. We want consistency. We want you to stay at that level throughout the year. And if you did not do very well, then we're looking for improvement. So, what we're really looking for are third trimester grades. So, even if you did well, that's really, really great. But what we want is to see growth or consistency in trimester 3. Those are the grades that really truly count, trimester 3 grades, not trimester 1, although of course it does. It shows us your progress. So 6 is where you're going because we can't really see and judge you over time yet. We can't see if, can you write at a level 8 always? Some of you guys did get 8s, but the grade that you're going for across 6th grade is a 6. That's where we would like you to be, okay? A 6 or higher, of course, but a 6 would be a great passing grade. All right, everybody, go ahead and make sure this is the first part. You get a grade for your lead. The lead is your introduction. You are trying to entice people to read your story. Your lead needs to be about I wrote Cro-Magnon. It is Cro-Magnon for you guys. For me, it's the Homo erectus. So you needed to have a lead. Now, as we talked about, you are not allowed to use the lead. What was the only lead I told you guys not to use? There was one type of lead. Because I told you guys you've done it since you started writing essays. It's been done too many times. What was the one lead you could not use? Jack.
You started off with a question.
Correct. Now, I told you a question was okay. Do you remember, Jack, the exact question you could not use?
No, I do not remember the exact one.
That's okay. We did this a while back. So the exact, oh, good. Adam, lots of you guys remember. Thank you. Adam, what was the one question I told you, please do not use? Because the answer would always be no. So what was it?
I think it was, have you ever wondered about it?
Correct. So something like that. Have you ever wondered? Have you ever thought about? Have you ever wanted more information? The have you ever questions? No. Those were I told you that was the only lead you could not start with. Now, unfortunately, a couple of you guys did. And so if you did start off with that lead, the good news is next time you'll know not to use that and you will get a better grade on your lead. But that lead was not okay to use. And so if you did use that, you did get a lower score. Again, it's because you guys are in my advanced class, although I did not let my other class use it either. It's just been done too many times. And really, truly, it's not a good way to grab someone's attention. All right, let's move on. So this part right here, I'm going to highlight now just for a second so you can see it. So that would be all the way to here, the one in blue now, where it says scientists and then it ends up with today. That's all the information that you're going to give about their background. Where did they live? Where did they come from? What time period did they live in? How tall were they, maybe? What was their brain size? What continents do they live on, etc. Okay, maybe their jaw size. So right here is all the information, their background information. So I think most of you, if not everybody, did fine on that part. So you got a 6 or above for the most part. Now listen, if you did not get a 6 or above, go ahead and read it right now and try to figure out why. Did you maybe only have 1 or 2 facts? Did you have nothing? Was it maybe about something else? Okay. All right. And I'm not going to take individual questions about your essays yet, but you may write them. You may write a question on your actual essay so you don't forget it. Okay. So if you have a question, go ahead right now, write it down on your essay so you do not forget. Okay. Sophia, did you have a question?
That was just from just in case you had a question, like It was there. So I'm sorry. Remember how you said just raise your hand so I can call on you for answers and stuff?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for doing that. I'll write your name down that I can call on you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, so let's move on. And then lastly, and then we can talk about it. The last thing you needed was a thesis statement. Now, the thesis statement is something that is very formulaic, which means there's a formula to it. You could have written it in two different ways. This is the way I suggested, and then we'll talk about the other way. So, what you do, the first thing you do is make a claim. Did you guys do that? Read your thesis right now. Did you say something about the Cro-Magnon? So mine was Homo erectus were one of the most successful early humans. Now I had to give my reason. So did you make a claim? If you did, that's great. You're on the right track. Now, remember, what did all thesis statements need to include after the Sophia, I'll call on you since your hand was up. Sophia, what were the three things you had to include right after you made your claim?
After you made your claim, you had to introduce backup reasons.
And those backup reasons were what? What were they? It's right here.
Sorry, could you? Oh, after you made a claim, you had to restate your thesis.
Well, the claim is part of your thesis, sweetie. So you have to say because of, and what are they? What are the three reasons why? Whatever your claim is.
Because so insert claim here because of their shelter, tools, and achievements.
That's exactly right. That's exactly it. Now,
I think in the right order.
Well, you can check here, sweetie. Now, shelter then had to be mentioned first because shelter is your body paragraph number 1. So look how that correlates. Now, you guys didn't have to write number 1 and all that, but this right here, shelter, is the very first subtopic. Okay, so that's in your thesis. And then that means that body paragraph number 1 must also be about shelter. Now, the second reason is going to be tools and weapons. Now, if you notice, I wrote tools as my second reason in my thesis, and also it is my body paragraph number 2. And lastly, achievements is the third reason in my thesis, and it's also body paragraph number 3. And it has to be in that order. It's very, very formulaic for a 5-paragraph essay. So I'm going to stop recording for just a second so that you guys can ask questions about the first paragraph. I'm going to pause. Okay, so we are being recorded again. I'm going to move this a little bit. Okay, so how can I get this out of the way? Okay, so we're going to go on to body paragraphs 1, 2, and 3. We can do those all at the exact same time because they all require the exact same thing, okay? So the reason I put mine in pink was for you because then you could easily see that this pink goes with this pink, meaning they're both about shelter. So that's not what yours was supposed to look like, but they all needed to be about the same thing. So just before you even start, could you please make sure that body paragraph 1 is about shelter, body paragraph 2 is about tools and weapons, and that body paragraph 3 is about achievements. And I'll answer questions at the end of this little section, okay? Okay. Now, please make sure that in body paragraphs 2 and 3, you used a transition word or a transition phrase. So for example, I use the word also, and then I use the word in addition. So those were 2 other requirements. And then can you please check, this is something that you don't even need to really read, you're just looking to see, did you start each of your sentences with a different word? Not in all 3 paragraphs, but per paragraph. So in body paragraph 1, 2, and 3, just take a really quick look. I'll read mine just to let you know what I'm talking about. My first sentence starts with the word Homo erectus, and then one in, one again, so I would have been marked down a little, living, and Homo erectus. So actually I didn't do a good job on that. I would not have gotten an 8. See, I hope that makes you feel better. Those of you who didn't get an 8, your teacher didn't get an 8 either. Okay. And then did you actually talk just about the Homo erectus' shelter? Guys, some of you, and not everybody, but some of you guys got very off track where you really you kept going and talking about us a lot. Some of you wrote more about us, the Homo sapien sapien, modern humans from 2020, than you did about the the Cro-Magnon. So you really, really just talked too much about us. This paragraph was really supposed to be about just the early human Cro-Magnon, okay? So that's what you're going to look for now. Did you really stick to just talking about shelter and the Cro-Magnon in body paragraph 1? Did you stick to just talking about tools and weapons and just the Cro-Magnon in body paragraph 2? And same thing for 3, but with achievement. So go ahead and check that. I will pause again for questions. This is going to be our very final paragraph, which is the conclusion. So go ahead and scroll down to your conclusion. All right. So the very first sentence must be, okay, it has to be your thesis, but it must be restated using different words. So there were 2 things that I saw. Some of you guys did not restate your thesis, so that's an obvious one. But some of you restated you didn't restate it, you just included it. You copied it and then pasted it down here. So that was a little problematic at times with some of your work. Or you did not, you just started off with a sentence that was not a thesis, okay? So those were the problems that were kind of happening with both of my classes. With some kids, I think in this class, say almost everybody did include the thesis and you did use different words. So that was a must, all right? Now, let me highlight this. Now, everybody go to your second sentence and read it by yourself, just in your head. Okay, so your second sentence in this paragraph must have been the restated fact or facts from body paragraph number 1 using totally different words, okay? So, whoops, it should be in red. So that's just basically, do you remember that day we went over that? I said, okay, everybody, let's go read those body paragraphs. Now pick the most important facts or fact from body paragraph 1 and then go rewrite it right here. So this sentence must be about shelter, but it also must be about, this is not the paragraph that I wrote with you guys. I'm just noticing that right now. Do you remember when we did that? People today. Huh.
I remember when you told us.
But that's so weird. This is not my paragraph, but this is it says right here, mangle. I'm wondering, that's so weird because we wrote it together. I can remember Sophia said I was a little wordy, too wordy, which was fine. She was correct. But I don't see my work here. This is the other teacher's essay. So anyway, in the one that I did with you guys, and I'll have to fix this, you just take, you were supposed to go up to body paragraph number 1, reread it, and then write about body paragraph 1 in just one sentence. And then you were supposed to do that with body paragraph 2 for the next sentence and body paragraph 3 for the next. I will actually re-record the instructions for the conclusion because this is not correct, and I do apologize for that. I did rewrite this with you, but it's not here. I must have pulled up the wrong one. Okay, and finally, the last thing you needed was a bold statement. So my bold statement was Homo erectus were by far the most innovative and successful human beings to ever exist. Now, I don't actually believe that, but that is a bold statement because I'm saying they're smarter and more innovative than us. So what did you say about the Cro-Magnon? Was it bold? And that belongs there. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm going to stop this. And like I said, I do apologize about that. Oops, it's turning it into Cami. Let me stop recording. And then you guys can ask your questions right now. Okay, let's see. Do you have any questions about anything now? Any part of your essay? I do not know what happened.
Yeah.
Okay. Whoever that is, go ahead.
I just didn't see the instructions for the conclusion, so I didn't get a grade I'm happy with.
You didn't see the instructions. What do you mean?
Like, I didn't understand what to do, so I did what I saw to do, which was restate my thesis, and then I just didn't do it that well.
You know what, Aiden? I think part of the problem, I think what happened with you is you did it before all of us, and so you weren't doing it as we went along. And I think next time, no matter what the assignment, wait for your teacher to give the instructions um, because that would, I think, for in your specific case, would have been super helpful.
Yes, because I misheard what to do for homework.
No, I don't think you did the step by step with us. Hold on one second. I'm so sorry, you guys.
Yeah, it was that as well.
Okay. So Aiden, anyway, I think maybe you just didn't do the tedious step by step, and it was tedious. I know it was because we had to do everything like, okay, everybody, go read this paragraph, and then everybody waited, and then now restate it, and then everybody waited. So I have a feeling maybe because you had done it early, you didn't do it with us, and I understand that. I might have done the same thing in 6th grade too. All right, let me. Okay, let's see. Any other questions? In general, you guys did really well. Remember, the goal was a 6, so not an 8. Although, of course, that's your goal for the end of the year. But this time, being a first essay for middle school, it was a 6. Any other questions? Okay.